I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Good morning, everybody. Well, a happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, as presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY or stop at your local branch to learn more about the credit union difference at TrueMark Financial today. All right, week one in the books in the NFL. And I'm already hearing it. Oh, the cat calls at the Wawa, at the youth fields. Oh, there they are, the fungus among us. And they're all chesty. They never learn. They're chesty. This is the year of the Cowboys. That's all I've heard since yesterday. And look, I will say they look very good. It was an impressive win in Cleveland. They had their way against a good defense. I think Deshaun Watson is horrendous, but they played well and they dominated in Cleveland. So do I think they're a good team? I do. Do I think that this is the team that will finally break through? No, I don't. I think that they are just what they always been. They're a team that will win 10, 11, 12 games and disappoint because that's what they've always done. You know, it's funny because I have a friend of mine, Mario. Now, Mario is a Cowboys fan. And he's been a Cowboys fan his whole life, and he's been a jackal. He's been the needle, right? The prickly needle that is in the bush that when you go and fall in as you're making a catch, right? You fall into the bush with the needles and they're in. That's Mario. Mario is that kind of guy. And he's quick with ripping Eagles and ripping Eagles fans. And he's like, right away, Eagles' most overrated team. And so I had to laugh. And I'm like, dude, all kidding aside, if you're a Cowboys fan, you have nothing to say, especially not after week one, right? Especially not after last year when you have a home playoff game and you're a favorite and you get the doors blown off you by the Packers. You have nothing to say. I mean, we've seen it time and time again how the Cowboys fail in the playoffs. So because Dak is the highest paid quarterback, that's going to change? Tell me what changes with the Cowboys. Tell me that the Cowboys are going to get better. I look at their skill people and I go, are they going to last 17 games? Is Zeke Elliott going to last? Is Brandon Cooks going to last? I mean, CeeDee Lamb is a great player. And when you stack up the Eagles, and look, I like their defense. I think their defense is good. But when you stack up the Eagles skill people are markedly better. Markedly better. And I think the offensive line, I give advantage Eagles. So I don't get this whole mantra after one game how it's the year of the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? That's what I heard. I heard it 4 times yesterday. I heard it at baseball practice. I heard it at Wawa. I heard it on the street out here off of Spring Garden. I've heard it. It's amazing how they just come out and of course I'm a lightning rod, so they how about them Cowboys? And it makes me laugh because every time it's been the same story over and over. This is the year. This is the year. And then they fail because that's what they do. They come in the playoffs and they choke as always. So how's that going to change? And I love it. I love the fact that we're going to be battling with the Jackals all season long. it's fun to have a rival. Part of sports, what makes it great is the yin and the yang, right? Is having the rival that it feels like something's on the line, right? Listen, I get fantasy and betting, all that stuff, but there's nothing better than when you have pride on the line, true pride. And when you have Cowboy fans that live in Philadelphia that are so vocal, and you're an Eagles fan, there's nothing better than you besting them. That's pride. Nothing deeper than civic pride. Pride in your team. Personal pride. Like, that's what that is. That's why this season is arcing toward just such entertaining. Eagles and Cowboys. I did my power rankings after week 1. And obviously the Niners looked great last night. No Christian McCaffrey. It didn't matter. Mason was a stud. They looked dominant on both lines of scrimmage. Their D-line controlled that game last night. The Jets' offense is good. Rodgers had no time. None. Garrett Wilson's terrific, right? They have a really strong running game. They could not get anything going because that Niners line harassed Rodgers all night. And then offensively, look at the holes that Mason was running behind. I mean, there's no McCaffrey. It didn't matter. Purdy had time. They look great. So I got Chiefs 1, Niners 2, Lions 3, Houston 4, Eagles 5, Cowboys 6, Ravens 7, Tampa 8, Bills 9, Rams 10. Those are my Tuesday morning rankings after looking at week 1. We're going to find out all we learned about the NFC. But after week 1, the story is Eagles versus Cowboys. Good morning, my boys. JP, John Zapata, VG.
Buenos dias.
Violations, Greg.
What's up?
Cowboys,
get out.
They're all out. They're out. Have you been accosted by a Cowboys fan? Because I have.
Well, we talked about it Friday on my way to the watch party for PHLY Eagles. Cowboys hats, Cowboys T-shirts, Cowboys jerseys. I'm like, y'all don't even play today. What are you doing?
No, it was worse because you were feeding the animals with the win. The fact that they beat Cleveland, that was it.
They're beating
all of a sudden,
Yeah, I hunkered down in the house yesterday. I didn't venture out, so I have no interactions with these cretins. But it's good to know they're out there. I see it on national TV. Am I wrong? Did the Packers smoke the Cowboys in the playoffs? Did the Cowboys have any significant additions this year? No. And the Eagles just they played sloppy, and they beat the Packers. So get out of here with this Cowboys.
They played sloppy and scored 34 points.
Yeah, get out of here with this
on a
Cowboys
slippery
talk.
field.
Right.
And the Packers, listen, Green Bay's legitimate.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like, Green Bay's a legitimate team.
Like, Bet Parks, Cowboys, 8th best odds to win the Super Bowl, plus 1,700. Eagles, 4th best odds at plus 1,100.
Wow.
It's a significant difference.
Wow.
The pull that they have with the media, the minute they win something, there could be like a no-hit game going on in baseball, and everyone's got to stop because the Cowboys won one single game. It is frustrating.
No, but it's not frustrating. You're not looking at it that way. You know, it's like, this is how it is. I've been dealing with this for 25 years.
You have.
Right? The only thing that's missing this morning is we're not hearing from Captain Cowboy. Cowboys. How about them? How about the pigeons? Cowboy Dave. I can tell you that I've been talking to Cowboy fans for 25 years in this town. There was 4 Cowboy Daves. Cowboy Dave, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Lesson: do not name your kids Dave. High risk of being Cowboys fans.
I
apparently.
know. It was unbelievable.
The thing is that the Cowboys fans in Dallas aren't that bad, but it's the ones here because they're obviously like us. But the only flaw is that they're Cowboys fans.
Right. You're exactly right. They are like us. They're one of us.
Yeah.
So they're brash because we're brash, right? we are quick-witted, and we're antagonistic. We're all those things, and so The Cowboy fans are exactly that because they're born of our soil. And yet they're the enemy.
I feel like they're slow-witted. They're like the trolls. They're like the outcasts. Guys who just want to be different or poke you for no good reason.
That's what it is. They just
I don't know if they're slow-witted, but they are.
You think they're like clever?
I don't know. It depends on the person.
All the ones I've met are dopes.
They just want to hurt you. They just want to see you in pain.
Well, yeah. I mean, and like, here's the thing never got. And I used to always hear this all the time. Well, it's a free country. Yeah, okay. Whatever that means. The point is that where you're born, you have civic pride.
Amen.
Right? Like, you have pride in Philadelphia. Like, you're a Philadelphia sports fan. I mean, that's what you are. So if you would want to root for your teams because it's the region in which you come from. It's a part of the lot that you were born. It's just like ethnicity, right? Like, you were born Colombian. You feel a certain kinship toward other Colombians.
Amen.
You don't want to stab your fellow Colombians in the back. Being a sports fan is the same thing as ethnicity. You were born, you can't control it. You're born in a region. So you root for the teams from your region.
Says the guy with a Huskers Nebraska shirt on.
Yeah.
Gee. I tried to be a little spicy this morning, huh?
College is different.
I know. Just fun. I get what you're saying. I will say this. I do encounter these guys in bars. Cowboy Eddie from O'Neill's. They're around. You know where I've never encountered them? Engaging in herbal consumption. I have had herbal consumption with groups of people, and there's never a Cowboys fan there.
Really?
Yeah, it's the booze. The booze is a trigger, a gateway. I think the booze is a gateway to this Cowboy stuff.
So they don't.
I've never had.
I don't know about that, dude.
I've never had to hang out with people chilling.
How about you're an orgy guy? Any orgies? Are they orgies?
I never saw a Cowboy guy at an orgy party.
If you've had group interaction for herbal, then I'm sure you've had lots of group interaction.
No Cowboy thongs, nothing. Nope. Nope.
I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't. That's an interesting theory. I can't,
because those guys are the people who
it.
enjoy the green are like laid back. They're not trolls. It's this troll factor.
It is ironic that all the Cowboys fans in the area do know you, cuz they all know you. They know you well.
Well, but it's not just me. It's
I'd be
like I wore the poster child for the Eagle thing. Like for years on the air, I was always more positive and would like to channel that sort of thing. And look, the Eagles have been good. And the Cowboys have been a team that has disappointed over and over. I mean, that's who they are. That's, more than anything, the Cowboys' DNA over in this century has been that of a letdown. They've been lumpers.
Good, not great.
I mean, 30 years since they've been
relevant.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Not relevant because they've been relevant, but
it's just here. Like, I have to reach out to my friends in Pittsburgh to see if they see a lot of Cowboy fans running around Pittsburgh. I think we have more of them here because they know it's a big troll job here in Philadelphia if you're a Cowboys fan. So I think there's those people who grow up, they just want to be that in Philadelphia. I don't know if like around the country there's as many of them and they're as vocal.
There was a generation that did choose to be the Cowboy fan because you guys talked about it before. Like before the Jeffrey Lurie days, it wasn't fun being an Eagles fan. So I feel like a lot of them were like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not being an Eagles fan. Hate how the way they're all acting. I'm going to be a Cowboys fan. And I feel like then those fans had kids and those kids became Cowboys fans. And that's how it all came about.
Yeah, I can see that. I also think that, there were two generations of them, the 90s generation, I guess the one before that.
Yeah.
And then they've always been the contrarians. Right? Like, let's face it, the world is filled with contrarians, right? Those people that want to see the masses go down. Mm-hmm. They root against you. Yep. They bet unders, right? Like there's a piece of that.
They're in San Tropez.
Yeah. But they're contrarians.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Like they wear it like a badge of honor.
Yeah, my buddy from college, Chad, he grew up in like York, PA.
Yeah.
He's a Cowboys fan. Why? Because his older brother, because York gets Redskins or Washington Commanders games. So he was contrarian to his brother. He has since dumped the Cowboys since college and now is a Bills Mafia guy.
Oh, you got to stick with it. At least if you're going to be a Cowboys, you got to stick with it.
And he was like, you know, converted.
Yeah, a lot of those PA towns that are in the sticks, they do like the Cowboys. That whole America team thing was big for them too.
Well, they always got the national game. It was the game they always saw was the Cowboys.
But that was always a big part of it.
Yeah, the American
is that they're always on, right? Yeah. So those people, but apparently there's lots of them in all different markets. You know, they just had that thing working.
When I lived in North Jersey for a year, I saw a lot of Cowboys fans, and the Giants and Cowboys fans would go out, and I'd be like, Eagles fan over here.
Yeah, I know.
You're right. There's zero chance Zeke holds up and Brandon Cooks holds up. None.
I mean, I look at them, and again, I think they're good. I'm not telling you they're not in the power rankings. I have the Cowboys 6. I'm not telling you. I think the Niners look nasty because they control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be interesting because every year I feel like the same thing with Dallas. They're good, but they're not good enough to be an NFC Championship team. Not good enough to be a Super Bowl team.
They haven't won big games. I mean, I think that's the whole point. The whole point is they haven't won when it mattered. Like last year, it was set up for them. I mean, everything was set up for them. They had home field. They had the first round bye, and they lose to the Packers. And they didn't just lose. They got the doors blown off.
The young Jordan Love and the Packers, man.
Yeah.
How fun when it goes out.
Coming up, Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network will join us, and we're looking forward to that. And, of course, the 10 Baldy. All of our first week of the Week 1 reactions today. We'll get to Phillies a little bit later on. They won. Phillies-Dodgers tied for the best record in the National League. So
who's got the tiebreaker?
Phillies.
We do.
Yeah, Phillies.
Let's go.
So we'll get to that coming up. But let's tell you about Primo Hoagie's football food, man. So this weekend, a Monday night game coming up. If you're having guests, because we do it communal in Philadelphia, we talk about group, right? We're going to have everybody come over and watch the game. You got to feed them. Nothing better than feeding them with the great taste of Primo Hoagies. The Primo Party Tray is the cheat code to hosting a party, man, because it's a little bit of everything. And everybody loves it. Like these slivers of deliciousness, right? These delicious hoagie slivers, you love it. The picky trays, the pepperoni and cheeses, they have it all. You got to go to Primo Hoagies and download the app. In fact, download the app right now. It's your chance to win free hoagies for a year. That's right. So download the Primo Hoagies app, and it's your chance. How about this? Through November 15th, when you download or update the app, you can enter the sweepstakes where one grand prize winner is going to win free hoagies for an entire year. Oh, man. Make sure you download. Hurry to enter before it closes November 15th. Primo Hoagies. You'll say what I would say, not just a hoagie. It's a Primo.
Man, I'm in on free hoagies. I like that. All right. Well, cuz listen, obviously when you have people over parties, the hoagies are big too, but you always want to, impress your guests a little bit too. And one way you can impress is with those new floors, ladies and gentlemen, and with our friends over Empire today. They will make sure you have the freshest, highest quality floors. And yes, even your football guests will even mention it as well, and even those Cowboys fans too. But right now, guys, with Empire today, you can shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installations, and a price match guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So of course they have copycats, but they can't beat Empire Today on quality, service, speed. So they advertise low quality products that Empire Today simply will not carry. All right. Empire Today won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does this is putting flooring in their home that they want to put in theirs. And they don't do that. All right. They want to make sure they have the best and you have the best. And that's why we love our friends over at Empire Today. And even better, we always have you hooked up here with that promo code, ladies and gentlemen. Schedule a free in-home estimate today, and all of our listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use a promo code PHLY. Restrictions do apply. Make sure you guys are seeing empiretoday.com/PHLY for more details. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your next football party, Monday night, Eagles, Falcons, you can impress them with your new flooring from Empire Today.
Empire, yes, today. All right, joining us. You love them. Man, nobody does it better. The premier NFL reporter from South Philadelphia and a diehard Flyers fan. He is the great Mike Garafolo. Mikey J! Woo! Good morning!
Hey, we're almost hockey season, and Phillies fan as well. So yeah, we're gearing up for the start of hockey season. Playoffs coming up, and the NFL is underway. Can't argue with all that.
Nah, it's the greatest. Michkov. You excited for a little Michkov action?
Oh, big time! You know, I always hate, you know, when you get the hype going, and it's like, okay, you already got something to live up to, and you haven't taken your first slap shot. So I'm always a little nervous, like my Jet fan friends who, for a minute there, were living life last night. How about me? I've got a hard and fast rule. Okay, here's my hard and fast rule, and I broke it. Don't tweet during games. Just don't do it. Don't put something out in the first quarter and then live to regret it in the third and the fourth. So last night, I watched the drive where they score a touchdown. Rodgers goes down the field. And I'm like, this must look like a bunch of aliens to Jets fans who have just – so I tweeted, like, this must look like a different sport than they've been watching, you know. And by the end of the game, I get a notification. Old Takes Exposed has followed you back. And I go, well, that's not good. So I go right to their timeline, and I was the last one that they retweeted. Old Takes Exposed, which I was only talking about that one drive, but this is what you don't tweet during games. Okay,
no.
There are 4 quarters in a game, not 1, not 1.5, not 2, 4.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. And it was funny because I thought the same thing. I'm like, wow, because I was curious if Rodgers was going to be able to move the ball. I'm like, I like their offense. I do. I love Garrett Wilson, right? You got a stud running back. And the Niners D-line controlled that game. The Niners are freaking nasty because their O-line and their D-line is tremendous. And that's what won the game last night. Look at the holes Mason was running through last night.
It was unbelievable the way that they were moving guys in the middle of that defense, which is supposed to be stout, which Jets fans don't think their defense is good. I hear that continually. Oh, so defense is overrated. You guys were taught. The defense kept them in games last year. And the point of this year was and is still, I'll get to the is still that let's see what happens with this defense. When they can play with a lead, when they can play with a quarterback that they can trust, that if we make a mistake, he'll pick us up. But I still, the Niners are that good. It was a combination of things. One, the Niners are that good. 2, the Jets didn't play their guys in the preseason, which I thought was silly. They should have done that. Even Andy Reid's playing his guys. I'm not saying that everybody has to, and when I say that, they'll say, well, this team rested guy, and they started 5. I saw a lot of rust in the NFL this weekend. I really did. I didn't think that there was a lot of clean football out there, which is good because that means we've got our best football ahead of us, I guess, this upcoming season. But to me, the Jets. And I had said this, I think the Jets are that team that goes 9-8, makes the playoffs, and could win a couple of games on the road and advance in the season. To me, they're going to get better. So I'm not, as week 1 overreactions goes, that's not going to be one. But I don't think you're overreacting if you say that the Niners are locked and loaded and ready to get back to where they were.
Yeah, and I know people say, well, the Super Bowl hangover and all that stuff, the lose. If you're stout inside, it's the oldest thing in the book. But that's how the Eagles won it in 2018. When you have the best D-line and the best O-line, and they look absolutely nasty.
Now, wait, hold on. The Super Bowl hangover, you just said, because this is interesting and it ties into the Eagles. Last year, it's funny talking to folks down there about what happened, what went wrong, and everybody, is it the coaching? Was it this? Was it that? The one thing that kept coming up was, the Super Bowl hangover. And I go, so what hangover?
Yeah,
you guys keep flying out of the gates. And they go, yeah, but you don't understand. It hangs over you all season long. It's there. It's a expectation. It's a weight that you're carrying with you the entire season. So my advice to the Niners would be, look at the team the year before and realize, okay, you didn't just cure yourself of that hangover here. Maybe it is a real thing. And enough people said it down there that I do believe, there must have been something to that.
Yeah, and it did. I mean, listen, they were 10-1, and people were going, wow, are they really 10-1? How good are they? And you got to get back to the Super Bowl. You were so close. Let's look at them because you talked about rust and sloppy football. it was pretty sloppy Friday night. The field, right? And the fact that, again, Sirianni doesn't play his guys in the preseason. They had one joint practice, Mike, and they looked sloppy, right? And as good as they are, because their skill people are ridiculous, but they did look a little sloppy.
The field was, and I've seen it. Look, I covered the first, and I think it was raining during this game. I covered the first London game, which was Giants Dolphins back in 2007. I remember how much of a mess the field was, and I believe it was an ongoing issue for a couple of years before they got the chance in London to get themselves a surface that, or at least tailor it to, hey, there's NFL football going to be played, which is different. I think it was J.J. Watt that tweeted out something about how the weight of an NFL game versus the weight of a soccer game is a lot different. Like soccer, they're kind of floating across the surface, whereas the NFL, they're digging in. And you saw that there. And so when we talk about this international game, it wasn't the logistics of like, oh, got to go fly and do it. Like that was a part of it, but it was more, what's the surface? What's the stadium? What's everything? So I just, that to me was so, guys were slipping all over the place. You can't get your footing. It leads you to be hesitant. It created an atmosphere that didn't feel like a regular season game. Felt like more of a preseason type atmosphere where, okay, get your reps in, kind of, you want to win the game, obviously, but it's almost like not a wasted, that's the wrong word. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right.
It didn't. Even the lighting was different, right? Everything about it didn't feel right. So I'm with you. Let's do the couple takeaways though. Man, Barkley is just something, man. Like, he must love the fact that he has a real O-line, a real offense with, great receivers and quarterback play and like a passing game that works. Like, it just opens up the whole field for Barkley.
His vision is, between his squats and his physical ability. Maybe we don't talk enough about his mental ability and his ability to see things. And one of the things he'll do is, during a game, and I people who were down on the sideline, when he would have a long run with the Giants, touchdown run, he'd say, like, he'd be going up to his offensive lineman saying specifically like stuff that he was seeing. And you hold that there. You just give me a half a second more and I'm going to take it. And I'm going to, like, he would come back and it would happen. And they'd be like, dude saw it, communicated it, they made it happen. So he's good about that kind of stuff, seeing it in live action, which I always wonder how these guys are able to see anything down there with the mess of bodies and the mess of big bodies that's happening down there. But he does it really better than anybody. So now if he's able to do that 2 yards off the ball instead of in the backfield, it just creates a whole other world of possibilities for him. And I, one of the things that it was fantasy football advice, but I'd said to people, like, the Eagles aren't going to spend that money and then not get the blood from the stone, right? It's going to happen. So this is the start of just him week in and week out being a focal point of the game plan.
Their offense is scary. Look, that's without playing in the preseason. They put up 34, and lost. It's funny. You watch AJ Brown, you go, he is so good. He's so strong. Nobody's got stronger hands. He's big, he's fast. He's such a great player. And you got Devontae. Like, just everything we advertised, that offense is scary.
And Devontae's so smooth. And AJ is like, talk about the weight of an NFL. Like, AJ looks like he's just tearing. Like, he's angry at the ground, the way that he kind of moves and the way that he's motivated to do that kind of stuff. So they've got a little bit of everything. They've got finesse. They've got strength. They are going to be a tough offense to deal with, obviously. And the offensive coordinator, and I think we had talked about this, you saw it on display with his ability to make you defend every blade of grass. Like, that's the cliche. But he's going to make you defend everything. He's going to stretch you horizontally. He's going to stretch you vertically. So I thought you saw plenty of that on display the other day. He's going to be able to work out quick screens that are going to make sense, right? They're not just going to be like, oh, it's 3rd and long and we're setting up a punt screen. They're going to be well called, well designed. I thought he did a great job of that kind of stuff the other day. And the motion, which I know was a big thing. And somebody put out a thing about teams that ran the least amount of motion, like the top teams, and they all lost this past weekend. So You see what the Dolphins are doing. You see what the Niners are doing. You see what the successful teams are doing. It's not just about what you're doing after the snap. You've got to move before the snap and make the defense start to analyze things before the ball is even snapped.
No, without a doubt. And I thought, the coordinators, like you bring up Kellen Moore and Fangio on the defensive side, it just showed you their professionalism, right? Like they looked a lot more professional. I think those two are become a huge upgrade for them.
Well, Vic, you're going to get some cutaways where you're going to see the, he's like your Italian grandfather at times.
Yeah.
You're going to see a couple of those moments as the season goes on, which he and the Dolphins personnel didn't mesh. But certainly now, at least early on with the Eagles, things seem to be going well in that department. So you want that to continue if you're the Eagles, obviously.
All right, Cowboys, how good are they? Can you look at their skill people? Can they sustain health? I mean, you got Cooks, Zeke. I mean, is that something that will at some point come back to roost?
I think Rico Dowdle, the other running back, is probably going to take on a bigger role as the season goes along. I just don't see how you can lean on Zeke that much. And they didn't. I mean, it's just the way that the defense was playing. It didn't have to be that kind of a tight game there. So they're really good in a lot of places, right? And I saw the reaction from Eagles fan base, Giants fan base, Commanders fan base after the Dak contract was announced, and it's like, yeah. I'm like, that dude, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah,
and I know it's so easy to be like, oh, he's a choker because they lose every year in they get to the postseason every year. They win 12 games every year. He's a damn good quarterback. There's a lot of go watch the Raiders. Right? Like you don't go into a season with Gardner Minshew and expect to make the playoffs. I like Gardner, good backup, fill in, play a couple of games for you. But Dallas has got a legitimate top level caliber quarterback, and they kept him because of it. Like, so, he's got to get over the hump. But that'll be something we'll continue to talk about.
Well,
but
I think you're seeing that because the reaction, and I was talking about to open the show. I mean, I heard it all day yesterday. I was at Wawa, my kids' baseball practice. I mean, everywhere. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? I got it all day yesterday. You got to hit me in January, man. Like, you can't do it in September.
I get it. They're really good. I just don't think the head coach gets enough credit. The defensive coordinator is really good. He's not everybody's cup of tea. He's not everybody's flavor, but he's really good at what he does, and so they'll be strong on that side of the ball. And when Micah Parsons is a game wrecker, you got 12 players on defense. You don't have 11. So you saw that on display the other day. I did see, was it Trayvon Diggs? There's a quote from somebody down there who said, "We only got to like 3 of our 30 calls," which is kind of disturbing if you're the Browns, if that's truly the case. Because the Cowboys didn't have to show you anything exotic. And their offense, I mean, I know they were missing tackles, but their offensive line is supposed to be a lot better than that. And that was very disturbing because not only that, but who's playing behind the offensive line. That's
oh, man. It's a shame, man. That team, because that defense is legitimate. The defense is good. But, man, Watson is just horrific. He's horrible, man. My God.
The reaction, I mean, I hate to play the body language police, but the reaction from Amari Cooper when the play call came in, which they said he was rolling his eyes I don't know if he was rolling his eyes I don't know what he was. Right. Whatever he was doing, he was in the huddle with bad body language. And this comes after when the Ayuk rumors were going around saying, "Oh, I wouldn't mind one bit if they traded me." Like, that's a problem there.
Yeah, huge problem. Speaking of problems, the Giants, oh my. They're bad. I mean, we kind of thought they'd be bad, but they're really bad.
I just don't get it. They played such sound, smart football in 2022, and they were the team that put themselves in position to be successful, even if it wasn't. The problem was that was such basic stuff, not basic, but they were playing. They weren't trying to blow you away. They were just trying to play the best, smartest football that they could play, and they did a great job of it, particularly with what they had at the quarterback position. Because now they're trying to open it up, and it ain't happening. They tried that last year, and it didn't work. And you add Malik Neighbors, and it's like, okay, we're going to have that explosiveness. Not there. Darren Waller was supposed to be the guy to open up last year. Didn't happen. Yeah, this is extremely worrisome if you're the Giants. I didn't like the way that the quarterback was treated after the game by the fans. I mean, I thought that was Bush. But the booing during the game, the leaving during the game, like that, you're more than welcome.
Yes.
In fact, what you've had to deal with over the last decade as a fan of this team right now. And then you look ahead, their next two games. The next two home games. Thursday night against the Cowboys. Sunday night against the Bengals, which I know how bad the Bengals look, but I think by that time,
it'll be fixed. Their line, they got to protect Burrow. My God.
Yeah, I know, but I think they'll get it together. There's enough talent there. Point being, you have got two home games. It was a 1:00 game. We're still talking about it. Think about how much more magnified it is when Thursday night game and a Sunday night game against two really good teams. This could get ugly fast for the Giants if they don't turn this around.
Hey, what do you know about Atlanta? Obviously, Falcons, Eagles, Monday night. What do you?
I was there. I had their game on Sunday. I had the Atlanta game. That offense that was one of the teams that didn't run a lot of motion, and there was a lot of talk about how much in the pistol they were, and it just didn't look. As that game went on, they were up 10-9 at halftime, but by that point, I was talking to one of the Falcons staffers. I said, "You better like there better be a knockout punch early in the third quarter, because if you let this team continue to hang around right now, because the Steelers weren't going to score 30, we knew that, right?" I said, but you let this team hang around, they're playing things. They're kind of like the Giants 2 years ago. Like, they tailored things to what made Justin Fields comfortable. There was one big explosive play that they kind of designed. I shouldn't tell that story. But the big play to George Pickens up the right side. I'll tell you off there. Off the right sideline. But they weren't going to blow you away. They weren't going to run you off the field. And it's like, you can't let that team hang around, because they're well coached. They're not shooting themselves in the foot. And the Falcons did just that. I just don't know. You talked about the Eagles offense. Like, in what world am I predicting that the Falcons are going to come in and go toe-to-toe with the Eagles offense after the performance I saw the other night with a new quarterback coming off an Achilles injury? And by the way, what is with the NFL schedule? 3 years in a row, Kirk Cousins, Monday night in Philly, week 2. What's up with that?
It's insane, right? It's insane. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
I've got that game as well, so we'll talk ahead of that. Maybe we'll
do good.
But I just that was not what everything that the Falcons said they were going to do, or not let. Like, we're not going to let T.J. Watt wreck the game. He wrecked the game. We're going to be explosive on offense. They weren't explosive on offense. They got to get it together quickly.
I mean, Drake London. Did he play? Did you get him the ball? Try to get him the ball?
So, my God. Because supposedly Kirk likes Drake London a lot. Like, he's willing to throw him some 50-50 balls. He's got that much confidence in him, which I don't know that he has the same in Kyle Pitts had to be like waving in the end zone, dude, I'm open. They got to get, like, London's going to have a huge game if they're going to suddenly turn around and start to be a good enough offense to hang with the Eagles on Monday.
And how about Bijan?
Bijan is a guy that they feel like they're going to be able to utilize a lot more than the previous regime did, which I had that game. There were so many storylines in that game. You had three quarterbacks between the two teams that I had to talk about. There's a Jet fan. One of my Jet fan friends just woke up. I hate football. I had so many storylines. It's like, I barely talked about how the offensive coordinator for the Steelers was the former head coach of the Falcons in his first game with the Steelers back in Atlanta and all that stuff. So that was a fun game to cover Sunday morning with all the news flying, and some of it unfortunate with the Tyreek Hill thing. But all of a sudden, like, all the news hit all at once. And it's why we do what we do, right? We're passionate about what we do, and just the way that things were flying on game day morning. And part of that was me reporting that Justin Fields was officially in as the starter of the Steelers. It was an interesting, exhilarating morning.
Yeah, it was. Mikey, I know you got to roll great stuff as always. We follow you, we listen to you, and it's great you'll be home for Monday night, buddy.
I'll be home. Yeah, matter of fact, you check in with me on Monday morning. I'll literally be at home at my parents' house. So we're gonna
that'll be great.
I got my cousin's birthday on Sunday. I think it's his actual birthday. Happy 40th, Vince. He's got his party 4:00, so we'll be watching the late games there at his party, and I'm going to stay overnight and do the game Monday.
Wait, you got to do the hit from the field.
Yours?
Yeah, you got to come on and you got to sit
early,
at the bench in Johnson's Field.
The field. I thought you meant at the field at the link.
No, Johnson's Field.
I'll open the windows. You know what? That house overlooks the field. I'll do that for you. How about that?
No, listen, we said the field. You haven't been gone that long.
I guess too long. It's time to get back down and go replant those roots. How about that, Aaron?
Love you, brother. Good stuff, buddy. There he is, the great Mike Garafolo, NFL Network. Checking in. Man, so interesting. Like, you look at Monday night, and I don't know. I don't have an ounce of – now, again, once the game gets closer, start to analyze it. But I don't know. I can't wait to see him on Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Monday football.
Yeah, I'm going to be jacked up.
Like,
I'm already planning a tailgating activity.
Yeah, did you really?
Yeah, I'm ready to go down like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Like, there's not an ounce of – I have no ounce of fear.
No.
After what the Falcons did on week 1?
I mean, I will say that Steelers pass rush is crazy. Watt is out of his mind.
Crazy. It is.
Yeah, so that alters stuff.
No, it does. Listen, I expect them to move the ball more.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting about the lack of motion? That they were one of the teams that had a lack of motion. Baldy and I talk about this all the time. And that was an issue last year. You saw the motion Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to run motion just to put it in,
you get the reads. The quarterback gets the reads,
Well, no, yeah, right. But just for a defense, like just to put it in their heads, where are they going? Like just to make them think.
Yeah. I think the next gen stats said that with the motion, Jalen Hurts was 15 to 21 for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you already saw the difference in week 1.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah, a couple takeaways. I mean, I think it's obvious, but I do think the coordinators just made for a professional game. Like they looked different, right? Mm-hmm. They looked professional. They looked prepared. They looked so much better than they did last year.
Yeah, feels good to have coordinators that have actually done it too, right? Like obviously Vic's been doing it for a while, but Kellen's, he's had his fair share of jobs too. And
he's been.
Kellen Moore's been. Yeah, listen, both of those guys.
Vic and Kellen. He's on the first name basis.
He's always like.
I love it. I love it.
The defense looked great. Fangio, I think. I was impressed with what he did. There were so many question marks on the defense, and I think he had them. Yeah, they look like pros.
Yeah. Here's a little nugget for you. Kirk Cousins is 3 for 10 on Monday nights in his career.
I know. That was always a storyline with him on Monday nights, Skeeves, that he would always fail. Like it was always a flop.
No fret.
No. I will say, that Niner team is whoa. Like, they're good.
Yeah, they are.
Here's the truth of the matter, though. None of these teams that we see in week 1, whatever happens and whatever shape they look like in January and February, it's a completely different, vibe. That we're always going to make rash, judgments and say the whole thing. And so we understand how it kind of plays out. But Niners in the trenches are legitimate, and Lions have a lot of skilled people. The Eagles are really good. The Eagles' offense is legit. And then, you look at the NFC, it's so much better than the AFC.
Yeah.
The AFC looks a little sketch. I was looking through right now. Like, what is that?
Well, the AFC, you think about it. I told you I did the power rankings.
I mean, you got the Chiefs, the Ravens.
Did you agree with the power rankings? Like, I gave Kansas City 1.
Yeah.
Right? Niners 2. Detroit 3, Houston 4, Eagles 5, Cowboys 6, Baltimore 7, Tampa 8, Buffalo 9, and Rams 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have Tampa a little lower, but they're probably in the top 10 for me. I think the Dolphins probably a little better.
I'm not a big Dolphins guy. I don't like Tua.
Yeah.
I never liked Tua.
Yeah.
I think I like the Dolphins over the Bills.
Do you?
Because overall, I get what you're saying, but obviously
Josh Allen is just
he's nasty.
He wills them. He's got nobody to throw to. It's unbelievable, but he's such a beast.
Monday night's a big night. You know who's going to be in town Monday night? Hovering away. It's a big game for Nick.
Belichick.
Here, listen to this.
Sidelines a long time as a head coach, but you got a lot of relationship with the coaches in the league now. Any chance you take a trip to an NFL game, an NFL stadium this season? Saw you at the Battle of the Beach last week, I believe.
Yeah.
But how was that, number one? And then number two, any plans on taking any trips to NFL games this year?
Yeah, so the Battle of the Beach was great, D-Bud. It was awesome. It was a great environment there, maybe 15,000 people, fans. The stands were packed. IMG and Bergen Catholic played a really competitive game. IMG's got, I think they got like 20 Division I players, over the 3 years.
Jeez.
Bergen Catholic's got a lot of good players too. It was very competitive, great atmosphere. It was really a lot of fun to be at. So, but next week, because I'm doing, filming here at NFL Films, next week I plan to be at the Philly Atlanta Monday night game. So, you'll see me there.
Okay.
So that'll be my first game at the stadium this year. So, looking forward to that one.
Oh, so that won't be a Manningcast, is what we just learned, right?
So is he gonna be doing dinner with Jeffrey before the game?
Wow. Belichick in town.
Because we're hanging out with
By the
Belichick
way,
NFL
he's here,
Films.
or he's already at NFL Films.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Baldy coming up in 15 minutes. So we'll see if the hallways, Skeeves and I spent a lot of time at NFL Films, and the hallways at NFL Films, and anxious to see Bill.
Yeah.
Cuz running into Bill, that'd be so funny.
Bill was great on the Manningcast last night. He talking football like nobody's ever talked football on that show.
Dude,
wow.
Belichick. Here's the thing about Belichick. We know him from press conferences. Like, we never got to really, you really don't get to know him. He's a fascinating, he's a brilliant mind. I saw him on an interview, right? Because, he never, this is during the middle of the dynasty. He was on an interview, CNBC. And the subject was leadership. It wasn't about football. And he was brilliant. He was so engaging, so interesting. He talked about like this preparation, and how maniacal the preparation. And he said the only thing, and he would drive me nuts, was I couldn't figure out a way to prepare for the shape of the football.
What?
The oblongness of it? Or...
He talked about the shape of the football, and you couldn't prepare for the bounce.
That's wild.
And it was, but in the course of the conversation, how he dropped it in was absolutely it was interesting. It was brilliant. The guy's so interesting and smart.
Look at on the cast, like Peyton's looking at the defense. It seems like Belichick is looking at all 22 players at once. He's noticing subtle things on the defense. He knows, Garrett Wilson doesn't know the play. He just noticed him do this little shrug it's just fascinating what he picks out.
I watch that. Well, you know what? He looks at it. You're right. I think when you watch a lot of the film, right, you're looking at, you said all 22, right? Mm-hmm. It's just certain movements stand out and shapes. Like they're almost somebody else told me about this. They see patterns. So the way the lineup, the way the players are configured, they see it and almost it comes out like
it's wild.
Patterns. They see it differently.
Yeah. I love the Manningcast.
Yeah, I love the Manningcast, so it's
good.
It's great.
And it's interesting because I feel like that's what Tom Brady's biggest strength was too when he in his younger years. Like he was diligent and studying the film and being well prepared. And obviously he had the most talent, but as time went on, he gained that talent. But that was his thing. He was well prepared on Sundays and I think he got that from Bill.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
what do you think, Skeeves? You like the Manningcast or the regular broadcast last night?
Manningcast is great. I love the Manningcast.
So here you go. All right, the Skeeves we started talking about this morning, and so he's got to get out of today. And VG, as violations, Greg throws the violations flag against Skeeves. In fact, we got to get a flag
so
you can throw it. All right.
Yeah.
And he deserves it because it's Monday night. So first of all, he says to VG this morning, dude, did you ever see, what was the movie?
It Follows.
It Follows. Did
Great
you ever
movie.
see
Great
It
movie.
Follows?
Great movie.
Right? Was it a horror movie?
Yeah.
Horror movie. Yep.
Right? So he's like, yeah, it's a great movie. And so Steve starts talking about it. And I realize, you watched it last night? And VG goes, wait, the Phillies were on and Monday Night Football was on. And you watch It Follows.
That I did.
And he works at a sports environment.
Right, exactly. This is such a violation.
Listen, we watched the Phillies during dinner, all right? And then it was me and my girlfriend's time. We already watched football all weekend.
Just his
you gotta give and take.
It's
You gotta
me
give
and my
and take.
girlfriend's time. What did you watch Saturday?
What did I watch Saturday?
Yeah, you didn't watch football on Saturday.
birthday.
I watched some college football a
You
little
didn't
bit.
watch. You didn't watch Saturday night.
I watched Nebraska.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Yeah, we flipped.
Where'd you go? Did you go to Farm to
flipped.
Table?
We flipped on it.
Yeah,
You're at Farm to Table.
Yeah, you what a liar.
It was my nephew's third birthday. I had to come on.
Yeah.
Gotta dedicate the day.
Okay.
You should be showing the kid to watch football on Saturday
Listen,
nights.
You don't know
I'm not
football is-
expecting you to watch Nebraska, Colorado. I'm just excited over Matty Rule.
That was a good
Which is why
matchup,
I
though.
wore it.
I did watch it though. Like flipped.
But the point is that Monday Night Football and the Phillies, this is where your job takes precedence.
First Monday night of the year.
And it's a good matchup.
Yeah.
You get to see the Niners and
Shout
scout the
out the
Niners.
Niners, yeah.
Exactly.
Thing is like he has all the gadgets in the world. Like he's got the watch, he's got the iPad, he's got the phone.
And by the way, I mean, not for nothing, JP, every day he's got to talk about Liverpool. I mean, every day he's talking Liverpool.
Oh, man.
So
Every
he can
other day.
watch Liverpool matches, but he can't watch Monday Night Football.
It's a big year for the pool,
Outrageous.
for the Reds.
I mean, seriously,
League
dude.
title.
That's a violation. VG's right.
I would have loved to have watched the game. I had
Did you
put in my
ever
time.
see go, hey, it's work, hon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's work.
Yeah.
It is work.
Yeah, you just gotta
There's a certain knowledge that you should have.
gotta learn the
That
multi-screens.
It Follows doesn't do for you.
Yeah, It Follows. Tonight's an It Follows night if you want after the Phil's game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, the Phil's game last night, that was a great ending. That was fun. That ninth inning.
Sanchez. Well, Estevez. Here's my takeaway. Right, their bullpen's legit. Like their I love their bullpen.
Yeah.
But Estevez, he will scare us.
Yeah.
He'll get the job done, but man, oh man, there's going to be times when he scares the bleep out of us in the playoffs.
I thought we were in the clear, and then here comes Brandon Lowe.
They love gas coming out of that bullpen. If you connect on gas,
I know.
it goes. So I mean, that's gonna be a
Plus,
thing.
you got to have command too, because he gets a little wild, right? So listen, I completely agree with Dombrowski. I love what he does.
Yeah.
Like he wants big arms. He completely reconfigured that bullpen when he took over.
So impressive.
Right? Like completely. They had a bunch of soft toss slop.
Historically bad.
He completely reconfigured that bullpen. I love what he did. And I love getting Estevez because I think you got a legitimate closer, right? You got options beforehand, right? Hoffman, Alvarado, get Alvarado right.
Yep.
You got Strom. You have options around him. But my only point is, at some point, he's going to scare us. He'll get it done, but he's going to scare us.
Don't you kind of like that though?
I do.
Yeah.
There's a part of me. There's a part of me that loves the tightrope.
Yeah, it's buckle up.
Like,
It's a ride. Here we go.
Like here it is. It's 2 on, 2 out, 1 run game.
Yes.
And there is Estevez.
Nothing.
Struck him out. It's over. Phillies win.
Nothing more exciting than that.
Yeah.
That is.
We got some roses of Kody Clemens. Dude, who's hotter than Kody Clemens right now?
Yes.
Kody clutch Clemens again.
Yes.
Buddy
Yes.
Kennedy with a heck of an at-bat to get on base. The fans are cheering, Buddy.
Yes.
Like, that's new now, right? Then they start chanting Kody. Now we're just chanting first names down there.
Yeah,
I'll call a
well, there
violation
you
on
go.
myself.
He's our man.
Yeah.
I'll call a violation on myself. I did think Buddy Kane was going to get struck out. But hey, listen. Give
He's
kudos
got
to him.
good genes.
Yes.
Don Money genes.
Yes. Don Money jeans. I love it.
You know what? Don Money got traded to make room for Schmidt.
I
They
did
brought
know
back
that.
Jim Lonborn.
Wow, Jim Lonborg.
Early nug for VJ.
That's a good. That's a great nug.
Yeah,
right
here's
there.
here's a nug. Sanchez, 4th highest WAR amongst qualified starting pitchers. Sales 6.3, Skubal 5.3, Wheeler 4.7, Sanchez 4.6.
Damn, that's impressive.
That's crazy.
Dude, that
Chris
is crazy.
Sanchez.
That's great. Let's pitch well again last night.
Yeah.
Ranger gets it going. Love this rotation.
I gotta say, look, the Bryce stuff. I get the Bryce stuff, but the guy hasn't hit a home run in a month.
I know.
He thought he tagged one and had it, so he watched it. He was trying to feel good about it. He's dying for that home run.
I thought it was out, dude.
Yeah, so
It
did
looked
he.
good.
So I can't. And he owned it at the end. I mean, people are asking for him to top or to bench him. I don't know if you can bench Bryce, but I get it. He's dying for it. He finally connected, so he watched it for a little bit. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, no, that's what stuff does happen. And listen, that's going to be the debate right now. Should we bench Bryce for a little bit?
Are you nuts? Sorry, I was just sneezing fit. Are you crazy? People asking to bench Harper.
Yeah.
This is the most ridiculous, nonsensical things. He needed to hit the home run.
Yeah, he thought he tagged
He
it.
was watching.
Yeah,
Stop.
right.
You know, there's nothing. The only reason why you're punitive as a manager is if you're trying to send a message or fix something in the guy.
Right. No, you're
There's
right.
nothing you have to fix with Bryce Harper. Nothing. There's nothing. He's got the right attitude. He's a great ball player. There's nothing. Benching him. That's the dumbest, most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Preach.
Listen, he knows himself. Bryce knows
Take it
himself
away,
well.
my brother.
And he will definitely be fine, guys. And you know what else is fine, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's our friends over Indeed. Listen, for all my people out there, especially if you are a boss, a manager looking for some new employees, like the Dallas Cowboys should be. But listen, if you are looking for some new employees, Indeed is the place to go. And listen, I know a lot of us out there, I know the job market's scary, right? I know a lot of people are scared. But if you are looking for a job, Indeed is the place to go. Indeed is driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, just match, and match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is a matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates much faster. And Indeed doesn't just help hire faster. Well, 93% of employees agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to recent Indeed surveys. So if you are looking for some new employees, we got you guys covered right now. Any listener right now of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visible at Indeed.com/AllCity. That's Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to that website right now and support our show saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast, the Anthony Gargano Show. Again, that's Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions do apply. Do you need a hire? What you need is Indeed.
All right, JP, indeed you do. Let's go to Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Did you get your 50-1 super odds boost yet? You got to do it. Do yourself a favor. New customers, sign up. Get the Bet Park Sportsbook app and get the 50-1 super odds boost. So you can take whoever you want to win it all. Niners, Birds, Chiefs, right? And you get 50-1. That's it, 50-1. So check it out. By the way, Birds 6.5-point favorites against Atlanta Monday night. Hop in early because that's going to go up. That's going to go up past 7. So I would jump on that now. Thursday night, Buffalo, Miami. Real good night, right? That's another good game. The official sportsbook app of Cuz and 4 for 4, and the only one I'll ever recommend, Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. Great offers again to kick off the season. The Super to 1, 50-1 sportsbook odds. You got to check it out. All right, betparks.com has all the conditions. You get those 50-1 odds. And you got baseball, college football, everything you want on the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. Download it now, all right? Get your 50-1 super odds boost on this year's champion. And again, for a limited time only, betparks.com has terms and conditions. Got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet Parks. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. What's the matter?
Taj Bradley tonight. Phillies over on BetParks 4.5. Pays 120. His last games, he's given up 5 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs, 6 runs, 8 runs, 4 runs.
He's got almost 12 ERA in the last 2 games.
Yeah, they should shell Bradley tonight.
He's good. I mean, he actually has good stuff, Taj Bradley.
Yeah, he's struggling.
Well, that Tampa Bay team just died.
Yeah.
You know, they died. That team just died. It just was awful.
What do you think about this this Huff stuff? And Sirianni blowing it off at the presser, being like, he played 1 snap less than Brandon Graham. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's a concern, no?
Oh, well, he's got to say that. If you're Sirianni, you don't want you're trying to stamp out any kind of fire like that. I don't blame him a little bit. I'm not going there. Now, listen, I'm worried about Huff without a doubt. But what I need to see is a field when they play on a field that's not slippery, right? Because that really hurts your edge, guys.
Yeah.
Slippery fields hurt your edge, guys. So let me see it. I need to make a whole judgment. I need to actually see a little bit more before I can make a whole judgment.
Yeah, I agree. We need more than 1 game, for sure.
Only because of the field. And if you're think about it, if you're Sirianni, like you just spent all this money on Huff, you're not going to open up that can of worms. What are you going to say? Yeah, I'm worried about him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really, you're looking to pick at him. And listen, there's plenty of stuff to pick, but I don't think you can. Like again, the coach also, and they
I think there's
kill
just a better way
Andy
to
Reid.
cover it up. I think there's a better way to cover it up. Be like, it just didn't work out that way, but to tell you it's not a big deal. Like, it's just 1 less. The 1 less than Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham was like fucking who's 45 years old.
I know.
Shouldn't be playing that many
snaps.
snaps.
But like you got to be like, no, it's so big. Yeah, you have to diffuse that. You have to say it like that. For years, how about one of the reasons why that we didn't appreciate Andy Reid?
Mm-hmm.
Now I get the Super Bowl thing, but Andy Reid was a great coach.
Great coach.
Right? But we
leader.
didn't appreciate him. Why? Because of press conferences.
He invented that. Got to do a better job, I feel like. And now everyone does it.
I remember talking to Andy about it, and it was obviously a strategy. It was like, hey, I'll take the shrapnel, and he knew it pissed everybody off. Yeah. He knew people were upset by it.
Yeah.
So he was like, be mad at me, but if you're mad at me, you're not picking at my players. And he made a pact with those guys. I remember seeing it. Like, listen, I always got your back.
Yeah.
You got to have mine, but I got your back.
That stuff goes a long way, cuz.
It does. They were loyal to him.
Yeah.
And, Sirianni needs to do the same thing. Like, I can't, like, this is like, I know you're looking for stuff.
I'm not looking for stuff. It's just the way he says it. Grinds my gears.
But listen, you're not alone. I only say that because you're not alone.
Yeah.
People get annoyed with that stuff. But you can't expect a coach, especially, Andy was doing this in 2000, right? The world has changed dramatically in the last 20 years since Andy was doing it.
I get you. I don't know. And also, like, when he's asked about playing in the preseason and it's a little sloppy, it's fine for him to say, we're 4-0 in game ones. Our system works. We're 4-0. Just stop it there, right? That's cool. You give me, we run intense practices that are just intense as games. That's where it's like, stop, right? Stop. You're just too much.
Yeah, listen, that irritates me. You had 1 joint practice.
Right.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, we run hard practices when? Because they didn't last year. I know this year we amped it up, but last year and 2 years ago they didn't run hard practices.
No.
They didn't tackle to the ground. How could you simulate game when you don't tackle to the ground?
Right. It's impossible.
But again, the job of a head coach is to diffuse all that stuff.
I get you.
All right. We got the man. Fresh off his trip.
Where is he now?
To Brazil. He is, I believe he's with Belichick right now at NFL Films.
Man, 2 great minds.
That's my guess.
I want to be in that room.
he had a whirlwind. Rio, Sao Paulo, Atlanta. Like, he's been everywhere. He is the great Baldy.
Baldy, Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Baldy, Baldy. Oh, he likes meats and football. Oh, Baldy.
That's right. There he is, fresh from Brazil. He is back. I know that, paddling anywhere. Back in his lair, in his office, the great Baldy. How was it, brother?
That was great. I really had a good time. We spent some time in Rio, Sao Paulo, on Paulista Avenue. Really nice spot in Sao Paulo. The stadium was outrageous, and the crowd. It's kind of like being at a Pro Bowl. I felt like everybody that had an NFL jersey from whatever team, Josh Allen, T.J. Watt, was in the stands. It was a rowdy atmosphere. The field was terrible. It was a cow pasture, as we all saw. Everybody was slipping. But outside of the field itself, I thought it was an outrageous experience.
That's awesome. So they were into it. The people, locals were into it. Were they like when you were out and about? Were they coming up to you, the people?
Oh yeah. I mean, I met some people that were football coaches in Brazil at the high school level, at the college level. I mean, football, it's popular. It's not soccer, obviously. There's still Neymar or Pelé, or they're looking at their number one sport, but there's an interest. I mean, Sao Paulo is just, I can't even describe how massive that place is. I mean, it took me 3.5 hours to go 10 miles to the game on Friday night. The traffic, I mean, it's 22 million people. It's just impossible to understand just how massive of a city it is. We don't have anything close to it in the United States, nothing. Like, you never feel like you're outside the city. But that being said,
how does it feel like compared to London?
Well, London is, they got an underground. You travel in London by underground. They have an underground. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I wish I would have taken the subway out to the stadium, in hindsight, and I'll do that the next time if I'm down there. But I don't know. London is just a lot more, like, there's certain areas of Sao Paulo that will remind you of London, High Street or street, some of those really nice upper end places in London. You'll see some of that. It's just so much more. There's just so much more urban sprawl than London.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, well, let's go takeaways from the game. We'll start with the Birds, and you witnessed it. Saquon, wow, man, how incredible! If you're Saquon, you go, oh my God, I got an offensive line, I got a passing game that works. It's like he's been freed from the jail that is the Giants.
No, it's you started this off absolutely perfect, because really Saquon was just, to me, of the whole night, Saquon was the story. Because
me too.
honestly, I mean, you sign him and you take him from the Giants and you weaken the Giants, whatever. And you go, okay, well, now we got a new offense coordinator, Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier. Okay, how's this all going to integrate? And we saw it. We saw it firsthand. We saw this is a bell cow back. They're going to use him in the passing game. The opening touchdown to him was a perfectly designed run action play. Jalen threw a perfect ball to him. He's a great receiver.
Yeah.
So and then, when you got to the fourth quarter and it was a ball game, it's 31-26. You want to kind of take some air out, you could pound him. And they pounded him, and he delivered. He was, and if they don't really screw up at the very end of the game, he gets a fourth touchdown. They blow him out. But it was everything that you could have imagined how he would be used and how he would be. As soon as he was signed here, I said, Saquon's never played behind an offensive line like this ever. And he's been a good back, but he's never had this, where he's got real lanes. And, Mackay was great. Cam Jurgens was good. Lane was on his game. Dickerson, Malott. I mean, they went to work up front against a good defensive front, and they just wore him down.
Yeah, You know, it's funny you brought up Mekhi because he really flashed. You know, you said it. You and I talked about love him at guard, man. He's big and he's not exposed on the edge. Like how he said it, you know, he loved him inside. And man, that run game, man, they look nasty.
Well, I've known Mekhi since he came into this business, and I've done a lot of breakdowns. He's the big ticket, and he had some days at left tackle where he was dominant, but he was injured and banged up and couldn't stay on the field. And so when they started working him in, you know, he was a backup tackle when he first came to the Eagles, and they started working him in at guard. And I asked him about it. I said, "You ever played guard? You like playing guard?" He goes, "I just want to get on the field, Baldy." So, you know, because even when he was with the Jets, they tried him at right tackle, and he didn't want to play right tackle. Never played right tackle, but he's Jason Peters' power in Jason Peters' prime. Like it's hard to find people that have that kind of power. Yeah. He's 360 pounds. Lane loves it because you know you work in these double teams and these combo blocks. You want a guy that can get some movement at the point, and then you put Lane and his power behind it. You're going to move bodies. And they did that a number of times. Kenny Clark, different guys in Slayton, guys inside. He was good. He was really, really good. I mean, Kenny Clark's a Pro Bowl defense tackle. He had no problem with him. You know, he probably outweighs him by 80 pounds. But, you know, nonetheless, Kenny Clark's a hell of a football player. And he was basically invisible in this game.
Yeah, Eagles offense is going to be scary, man. They just, oh, my God. Because AJ, Devontae, like, they just – and Kellen Moore, you saw it, right? You saw motion. You saw elemental stuff. We were just talking about
But because, honestly, there's a lot of teams that run motion. Just because you run pre-snap motion doesn't mean anything. What I saw the other day was like the touchdown to A.J. Brown to start the third quarter. Like, they got him matched up by the motion to get one-on-one with Jair. Now, he's got a rookie-free safety. Like, you've got a good safety. You know, you got a good safety back there. He's not going 70 yards. But regardless, you know, AJ saw the opening, but that was a design motion to get him matched up with Jair.
Right.
And he stacked him. He beat him, and he finished the play. But what I saw was, bunch motion with a purpose. I saw an answer to blitzes. Now, not every blitz. Some of them were come off the blind side. Jalen got smacked a couple times. That's going to happen too. But I saw an answer to the blitz. I saw guys ready for a side adjust, for hot built in. I saw, you know, short sets, 3-step drops, ball out. That's all those throws and completions to Devontae were all short drops, short sets. Let Devontae go win. And Jalen did a good job of putting the ball where he had to put it.
I mean, his first reads against the blitz, the numbers are really good. And you saw, like, you know, quick reads. When he had the ball out, he was on target. He was on the money. And and you said it. You took the word out of my mouth, purpose. Like, the offense had purpose. There was, like, what they were trying to do, it was purposeful. That was a big deal. And listen, even defensively, you saw that Fangio is a pro, right? Like, they look different. Man, I'll tell you one thing. I love that Zach Bond. He's a meat. That Zach Bond was terrific, man.
Well, let me just go back to the offense for 1 second. Because I talked to Devontae on the field before the game. And I said, you know what this Heffley's going to do. You know he's going to press you on the outside. You got to beat. I go, I know you got your releases. He goes, well, we weren't really sure what he's going to do, Baldy. I'm like, I'm just telling you right now. Be ready for it, Devontae, because this is how he plays. Xavier McKinney's going to be in the middle of the field. He's going to be the robber. They're going to be So, like, they were unsure because it's brand new defense. And Devontae's like, hey, thanks for that, Baldy. I appreciate it. And, like, he had to beat press coverage. I wasn't telling him anything he doesn't know how to do.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, they were a little – my point is they were a little uncertain just how they were going to play because it was such a departure from Joe Barry. But to Vic Fangio, like, they blitzed a lot. They gave you a ton of different fronts. I saw Jalen Carter on the nose. I saw Zach Bond coming off the edge. I saw Josh Sweat standing up. I mean, he gave you a lot of different looks. But Zach was awesome. You know, and look, he's going to be the starter. Devin White wasn't there, so Nakobe stepped in. Nakobe played really well. I thought they got good linebacker play. You know, the one thing about Zach, he's, you know, first of all, he's a Wisconsin linebacker. You want linebackers, go to freaking Madison. That's what they do. They train linebackers. But in New Orleans, he was kind of lost a little bit. Like they kind of played him on the edge. They played him off the ball inside. He never was really a starter. They just never really figured out where to play him. I feel like this is a good spot for him. And because he's as close, he's not TJ Edwards. Because TJ Edwards is still he's still the best linebacker in Philly. But he's as, and by the way, TJ's a Wisconsin linebacker. He's as close to TJ as we've seen in the last 3 years.
The other guy that to me it stood out was Mitchell. I thought Kenyon Mitchell looked really good.
Yes. So, Isaiah Rodgers, is banged up. So Quinyon gets the start. So here he is, he's the first corner taken. But, I think they wanted Isaiah Rodgers to start and, let work Quinyon up. But he plays the whole game. He played great. He took 2 touchdowns away, just took him away with perfect positioning. But his break on the ball is why he was the first corner taken.
Yeah.
Like his reaction time when the ball's in the air and his quickness, it's noticeable. Those 2 pass breakups against Musgrave and, whoever the other one was against, Reed or whatever, that's what you want on the outside. Off the ball, man, okay, read the route, clue the quarterback, and go make the play on the ball. I thought he was outstanding.
So then you go to Atlanta. So this is awesome. You go, Rio, Sao Paulo, Miami
went
to Atlanta.
I was in Indy. I had Houston, Indianapolis on Sunday. So I had to go. So the game finishes at, 12:30, 1 in the morning. Get to bed sometime around 3. We got a flight at 10. Okay. So, we leave, at 7. So we get a couple hours. So we fly Sao Paulo to Philly. It's 11 hours. All right. So, land in Philly at sometime around 7. Got a 9 o'clock flight to Chicago. Okay. Land in Chicago around midnight and then drive 4 hours to Indy because there was a bunch of traffic in Chicago on I-90. So I get into Indy around 4 and my boss was really worried. This thing wasn't going to work out. So for whatever reason, because I don't know why it was, because I was tired, but whatever reason, I popped up at 7:30 and my boss for the national radio had just texted me at 7:18. So I'm up and I'm like, oh, he's just like, are you in good shape? You there? You ready to go? I'm like, oh man, I'm up and ready to go. I really what? But I answered at 7:30. I'm like, all set to go, Pete. Can't wait for action today. They're like this. So
Superman. You are Superman.
It was but I had so much fun. The rest is the rest.
Did your schedule change? I thought you had to be in Atlanta.
Yeah, well, I thought when I first talked to you about it, I thought that was going to be my first game.
Yeah.
But they decided that Houston Indy was going to be a bigger game, and it truly was.
Yeah.
It was much better than the game in Atlanta. So I'm glad I got there. But yeah, Indy and Houston was a lot of fun.
Man, dude, how about Anthony Richardson? I mean, wow, the throw both those teams are good, man.
So
wow.
I said this on the broadcast. Watching Anthony Richardson, and I met him for the first time. I'd never met him before. So I went and he was warming up pregame. So I went out and introduced myself and we had a little chat. But you know what he is? He's Aaron Judge. You have to watch every single play because you don't know if he's going to slip, taking the ball, drop back, get smacked, and toss it 60 yards to Alec Pierce for the opening touchdown. His talent level is ridiculous. Now he sailed a couple over AD Mitchell. They could have won the game easily. This AD Mitchell is going to be a player, man, for him. But,
wow.
All these receivers from Texas are unreal. But he missed a couple, but gosh, he kept him in the game to the very end. And the additions of Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs completes that offense in Houston. They're really good, and CJ is just amazing.
How about we had a bowl last year looking at CJ every week, and my God, you look at it now, and they all fit, right? Nico Collins, fit. Right? Everybody fits on that offense. They're scary good.
Dalton Schultz, and you got CJ, who just is a master. He's pinpoint accurate. He knows what he's looking at. It's hard to fool him. He's got movement when he needs movement. Like he's and Joe Mixon, look, he ran it 30 times. Like they just pounded Indy and controlled. Really kept. It was Anthony Richardson really they had a 10-minute advantage in time of possession. Richardson just made all of these unbelievable plays to keep him into it to the very end of the game.
So what impressed you the most week one? Give me a couple things that stood out to you.
Well, I think Dallas's defense. I mean, they've got a couple new kids. They started this kid, Kalen Carson, at left corner. He's a 5th-round pick out of Wake Forest. He wears 21. I swear you think it's Deion Sanders out there. Like I'm not saying it's Deion, okay? I'm just saying. 21, got a 10. Like, his first play, they come after him. Like, he goes for the pick, and he misses it, but he's like, he was going to make a house call. And then, like, his break, and then this kid, DeMarvion Overshawn from Texas, linebacker, I didn't think anybody was faster than Micah Parsons chasing a quarterback until I saw Overshawn. That defense was lightning fast. Cleveland, I mean, you can complain about Deshaun Watson all you want. He was outrageous, just outrageous. Like that stood out. I think the Lions' overtime drive was ridiculous, cuz they go 70 yards on 8 plays, and they run it 7 plays. They just ran it right down the throats. They picked up this Kevin Zeitler from Baltimore. Like, Zeitler's been in Cincinnati, New York, Baltimore, and now he, is in Detroit. He's the biggest, strongest freaking ox there is at guard, and he never misses games. And you put him and Penei Sewell on the same side, like, guys don't have a chance against it. That was really impressive. Stafford was impressive. Cooper Kupp was impressive. The Bucs offensive line was impressive.
It was funny. You called Tampa. You said that Tampa was going to be good, and they looked really good. Mike Evans is a vampire. I mean, he and Godwin, that's all they do. They never age.
No, I mean, Mike Evans is literally an ageless warrior. I said he's the best red zone receiver we've seen in this league since Randy Moss. Yeah. I don't think I'm overstating it. There's Larry Fitzgerald. There's a bunch. Right. I don't think I'm overstating it. He's got 88 touchdown catches. Like, he had 2 on Sunday. This rookie, Jalen McMillan, is a beast from Washington. He caught one. Baker, but they had a running game, and they had a really solid offense line, and Baker feasted.
Now, I'm sure you didn't get to this game yet, but the Niners last night.
I watched it all.
Oh, my God. Dude, their D-line and O-line, their trench play, oh, my God.
They dominated the Jets in both trenches. But just watching Kyle Shanahan work. Now, Jordan Mason is starting his first game. Right. He goes for 140, 147. Now, you talk about motions and shifts. What they got the Jets into, it's unreal. It's unreal what he's able. Like, he knows he's got the answers to the test, and his ability to scheme is second to none. Now Purdy is an amazing player, but offensively, the Jets, it felt like it was chess and checkers. They just couldn't. They're trying to change up, and like every change up the Jets threw at them, the 49ers had an answer to it. And then defensively, they just whipped the Jets. Like, their run game, except for one run the whole night, they whipped the offensive line so badly. Breece Hall never had a chance.
New DC, Sunshine, he's good, man. They were unbelievable. I knew they were good, but I think the Jets are a good team. And I just think, they on both sides of the ball, they just got beat up, man.
The thing that's amazing is Trent Williams doesn't come to camp.
Yeah.
He plays 65 straight snaps, and he looked like Trent Williams. He totally eliminated Jermaine Johnson and anybody else they had out there. And then Brandon Ayuk misses all the camp. And the timing between Purdy and Ayuk on 3 different plays, including the one that he drops the touchdown in the end zone. Like, if they make these catches, they score 50. But the timing is just amazing. Like, they didn't practice. Yeah. And the timing was flawless. Like that, I don't know how that gets done.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, brother. By the way, have you seen Belichick in the hallway?
He's here. I think they're filming today.
Yeah.
I think he's in the cafeteria before me today. His car's out there. I'm going to run into him at some point today.
Yeah, I need a meeting of the minds of you and the brain and
I
brain.
want to invite him up into the room here. I want to sit down with with the GOAT and see what he sees.
I would love that. That would be outrageous. We got a meat locker coming up on Thursday, so we're looking forward to it.
Sounds good, buddy. Yep, I'm looking forward to it, cuz. You got it, man.
Baldy.
Belichick. I'm in.
Baldy Belichick?
Yeah, I'm in.
Put a camera on.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's do it.
I mean, not for nothing. That's just ridiculous.
Oh, God.
I don't even know if I was Belichick, I wouldn't even do it. You can't. You're just going to get outshined by Baldy. No point, man. You can't put yourself in that situation.
Dude, it was interesting to watch last night because that's why I asked him if he went through it. And Niners front, wow,
tough
skill players.
I mean, because the Jets are good. Like I think the Jets are good, and Rodgers had no time, man. No time. And they have a new DC, young DC. He was good.
And now O-line was just blowing holes open for Mason to run through.
You know, the last few years, I was just hoping that Brock Purdy would just choke it away for the Niners, but I can't even say that anymore.
Nah, he's good.
Yeah,
Purdy's good. No, the NFC is stacked.
Yes, sir.
You know, Niners, Eagles, Lions, Cowboys. Like, you know, Packers aren't dead.
No,
you get,
at all.
You know, they're not going to put Love on the IR.
Right.
So you'll get him back at some point, and they're still good.
Talking heads and experts like the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's another one, too.
It's amazing how good the NFC is.
It's going to be a gauntlet. It's going to be fun watching every week, too.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right,
top heavy, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Hit us with some, a little, I got to actually tell people about Sleep Healthy PA.
Yeah.
Dr. Andy.
I make sure I'm
Dr.
sleeping right.
Randy.
He's the best, Dr. Randy.
Yes, he is.
Like if you have sleep apnea,
Yeah.
and which is very bad condition, bad. It's like a garden hose, and you're choking it off where the water can't get through. That's your oxygen. That's your air, and that's your oxygen. Yeah, Skeets is used to it. That's what his girl sends him to the other. He gets banished to the other room. Right.
That's why I can't watch Monday Night Football.
You get banished to the couch?
Oh yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, so next time movie night's on, just fake snore a little bit. She'll kick you out of the room.
Then you go actually watch sports.
Yeah.
That's a good move.
It's not Liverpool.
That's a good move by you guys.
Call Dr. Andy, please. SleepHealthyPA.com. Dr. Andy Cohen, who is board certified with sleep disorders. He understands getting the passageways open, right? So he's a trained dentist. He uses dental appliances and laser therapy to widen the passageways. He's a brilliant guy. And you trust me, you're going to feel so much better that he got you to breathe because you could sleep. You know how many times you use your Apple Watch? It'll use your sleep apnea. It'll show you how many times you wake up, how many times you get the morning get a headache. You don't sleep well. You get a good night's rest, it'll make you feel like $1 million. So call Dr. Andy Cohen, SleepHealthyPA.com. That's SleepHealthyPA.com. Also, let's talk about Parks Casino. That's right, Street Road, Ben Salem. My man, Parks Casino. Here's what's happening. So right off the bat, the Excite Center, one of the many things that I love about Parks Casino, this is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino, so close to anywhere. Street Road exit off of 95 in the PA Turnpike. The Excite Center is the state-of-the-art entertainment venue inside Parks Casino right in Bucks County in the Philadelphia suburbs. Named one of the best places for concerts and comedy and a great place to see the country's best comedians and music headliners. That's right. Tickets on sale right now. September 14th, J.B. Smoove, my man. I love J.B. Smoove.
Hysterical.
He's great.
I was asking my man, Mike Baldini, can you please get me an interview?
Yeah.
With I love him.
That'd be great.
Go.
He's going to try. Yeah, I think he's hysterical. September 20th, the Best of the Eagles, tribute to the band The Eagles. September 26th, Joe Bartnick from Bill Burr's podcast, Joe and Joe Conklin, September 28th, The Fray. October 4th, the Juicy Scoop podcast with Heather McDonald from Bravo and Chelsea Lately. October 5th, comedian Kev Herrera. October 25th, Michael Blaustein, a great comedian. Parks Casino, this is how you win. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's 10:30 across the Delaware Valley. We're brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY to see the credit union difference. All right, we got Nugs coming up. We got to say goodbye to James Earl Jones.
Yep.
One of the great,
one, man.
great actors and the greatest voices of our time. You got to think about it. If I said the greatest voices,
Yes.
There's only two for me.
well,
probably.
it's
I think so. Who's your other
well,
one?
I think there's three.
Okay.
All right,
Oh, I just got a
Morgan Freeman,
Yes.
right?
Yes, that was my other one. Yes.
James Earl Jones,
Yep.
and the autumn wind is
I
a
was going to
fire.
say John Facenda.
John Facenda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will we agree?
Yeah.
The three greatest voices in American history
Yes.
are those three men.
Yep.
How about the Hard Knocks guy? I do like that voice.
What's that
the
guy's
narrator.
name?
He's
Man, Lee
he makes it so much
Schreiber?
better.
Yeah, he's good.
No. You got to add one in there.
Yeah, he's good. Liv Schreiber's good.
David Attenborough. I love watching any of those Animal Planet things. David Attenborough
Actually, you're right.
is amazing.
Yeah, he's right about that. You don't like Attenborough?
He seems like a little too elitist, a little too high-endy for me.
Well,
Like
it's-
college professor
That's like the
vibe.
British accent.
Yeah, I'm out.
That guy telling me about
Well, the
ants,
British accent is awesome.
Yeah.
Like especially something like that
him telling you about a colony
in
of
the
ants.
wild.
Yeah, you're sucked in.
Yeah. The
Full
cheetah-
ride.
You want to tell me
The
that
hyena princess.
that Morgan Freeman
the
and James
tiger-
Earl Jones couldn't do that better?
Morgan Freeman does do the Planet Earth
He's
stuff.
way better.
But David Attenborough just has that way of
It's a
pulling
different
you
vibe.
in, man.
I think there's room. I think you need a British accent in there.
I'm out on the Brit.
Really?
Whoa,
I think
Sorry,
hey
Sam,
now.
except for Sam from England, of course.
I think that accent's a great accent.
Sometimes.
It's a great voice. No?
I take any of our three over him. He's 4 in the power rankings, but
Whoa.
No offense, Skeeves, but I'm not
Number
a big
5.
fan of the British soccer
Harry
commentator.
House.
Yes! How'd you know I was going to say that?
John Peace threw it up in the chat room.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's right. Violations, Greg.
Yeah.
Harry the K.
I wish I could have lived through that. Just call it the tail end.
Oh, it's amazing what voices will do.
Oh, for sure. Cuz.
But,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about James Earl Jones, the greatest, right? Darth Vader.
Yeah, we were watching some of the
Right.
scenes before. Oh my God, it's crazy.
It's incredible. And I was getting mocked early because Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
I love that scene with Ray, baseball, Ray, baseball. Like, come on, man. I didn't know. You got to be stoned. You get stoned
Yeah, you gotta
hard.
be stoned to like that. You're right. You gotta be
Why,
stoned.
you don't like it?
Yeah.
You're the great burnout.
I like Kevin Costner, but
You like Kevin Costner?
Sometimes, but that movie,
Cuz, what about, because Duncan Dad put in the chat, what about Vince Scully?
good baseball voice.
Great baseball voice.
I saw some of those clips.
And a great storyteller,
Yeah.
too.
He would talk about stories during games.
Oh, my God. Nobody told you the story. Like, he would tell these amazing stories about, like, the snake or whatever. Like, and he killed the rattlesnake. Like, 3-2 count. And, like, he would mix in the story. Like, and so he was wandering in the forest, and he encountered this snake. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled away. Like, he was unbelievable. How he's unbelievable.
It's an
Vince
art,
Scully.
guys. It's an art.
The storytelling, it was like reading a back of a baseball card while doing the game, and it's amazing. Like, you could actually do this for 3 hours straight.
Yeah, by yourself.
Right? No
Like,
partner.
Even when he was like 89, 90, he was doing it.
Wow,
and well.
Man.
I got to tell you, I was watching Monday night. Obviously watching we all were except for Skeeves.
Yeah.
I love Joe Buck. I know people don't like him, and I don't understand it.
I don't mind Joe Buck on big games. Big games.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's a great broadcaster.
Yeah, I don't like him. He irritates me, but him broadcasting, I like.
Why don't you like him?
Spot on.
He's like a name dropper. He's always telling us he's with Eddie Vedder. And it's like, nobody cares. All right? Nobody cares. Call it a game.
He's coming
Call
on.
it a game. He's coming on here?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
You better get some Pearl Jam queued up.
Ding, ding, ding.
We get flagged for it.
Nah, he's the best, man. I've always. What about you?
I mean, I'm indifferent with him. I used to hate him. I used to
Everybody, I don't understand it.
I've warmed up to him in recent years, but back in the day, I was just like, this guy just doesn't like Philly. I don't like hearing him talk.
Every market thinks he doesn't like that market.
Dude,
we're so used to hearing the homers.
It is. It's ridiculous.
I've grown out of that, though. I've come to appreciate.
You hate Collinsworth, too?
I think he's a nincompoop.
Twice he's used that word today.
Yeah.
Earlier before the show. I don't mind Collinsworth's son now.
Woo.
He stinks. Collinsworth stinks.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not a huge fan.
There's a lot of nepotism.
There is, because isn't Buck's girlfriend a broadcaster on one of these shows or something?
Yeah.
I thought there was a Buck.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
I thought she was somewhere.
I think she was on before they got together.
Well, Ian Eagle's son did the game.
And when is Ian, not Ian? When did this happen?
He was always Ian Eagle.
Yeah, I've always heard of Ian
I-A-N
Eagle.
is Ian.
It's Ian.
No, it's
Maybe
not.
he says Ian. Maybe his parents called him Ian.
I thought Ian was I-O.
He said, yeah.
No, I don't. I'm serious. I don't know, but he did the game Friday night. There's a lot of. It's funny, man. There's a lot of like second generation athletes, and now there's second generation broadcasters.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Ian Eagle's son. If you see him and then hear his voice, they do not go together. That voice should not be coming out of his body.
I think they do.
He looks like kind of like dorky. So he has that like voice, and it's like
but
that
he's got
should
that.
not be coming out of there.
Half the people with those voices are like little guys that have that kind of projecting of the voice. I don't know. And that Chris Sims, man, I hate NBC. I like Tirico Collinsworth. I do.
Unbutton the shirt. He takes the dress shirt all the way up to the top and then doesn't wear the tie.
Yeah,
dude,
I hate that.
who are you? Unbutton it.
Calm
down.
The top button. You got to unbutton that.
That's like, let it breathe, man. Let it breathe.
That's got to bother you as a neck guy.
I don't like a top button, no.
It depends.
Not a fan of the top button.
Fit.
No.
Gotta look good.
Oh, it's like a little rebellion in Catholic school. Always have that top button undone.
Always.
Yeah.
The tie.
Even the ties holding your collar together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do that with Massimo.
Yeah.
We do. He always does. He never
Squares had that button, top button.
Right. He had to deal with it.
They get their books smashed out of their hands in the hallway.
Yes, exactly.
No way, man.
All right. Coming up, we're going to be going to the phones, I guess, pretty soon. Is that right?
At 10:45, I think.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to chime in on the chat, obviously we'll take some calls as well. But I need some nugs.
All right. We got some James Earl Jones stuff. Empire State Building showing a little tribute to him today or last night. Throwing a little light action up on the Empire, little Darth stuff.
This is cool.
Cool, right?
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Remember when the Giants?
That's really cool.
Remember the Giants fans were up in arms when they put the green after the NFC Championship?
Yeah,
that was so
great.
funny, man.
That was great.
And I got
where does Star Wars rank?
Oh, are you asking Steve?
In all time,
number one.
If you go all time, like
merch sales, number one.
Epic, movies that have, sequels and the whole thing.
The trilogies.
Number one.
Yeah, there's no franchise like that.
You're talking about franchise
Yes.
base?
Yeah, there's no franchise.
There's no
like,
franchise.
There's no one close.
I'm a little biased over here because I'm a big Rocky guy. But Star Wars has everything you need.
But that doesn't even-
sci-fi, romance, comedy.
Star Wars was an entire world.
Great
But,
storytelling.
the franchise now.
They have a
The
theme
Marvels.
Yeah, that's insane.
But I think Star Wars. Listen, not that I was ever a big Star Wars guy, but it was always. I mean, it was well done.
I will say it's getting a little bit much now. There's like a bunch of spin-off shows and movies. And
Well, that's it. That's why the franchise is so big. They just keep capitalizing on everything, the spinoffs.
The problem was I don't know about you guys. Were you ever into it?
I got into the first. Yeah, they lost me at the Ewoks. I was out after the Ewoks.
Yeah.
But.
It was almost like you couldn't follow. It became so convoluted that you didn't follow the world.
Then they come out. It takes them 20 years to do the fourth one, but now that's the first one.
They did the prequel.
Come on.
Yeah.
So highest grossing franchises: Star Wars is $10.3 billion, Harry Potter 9.58. But when you account for the merch that Star Wars sells, I don't think it's even close.
I saw a wedding.
I'm a Potter. I like Potter.
I'm a Potter fan.
I'm a Potter
you
fan.
of Howie Roseman, so you like Harry Potter.
You ever get sorted?
Howie Potter.
You ever get sorted into a house?
What?
Yeah, you can do
that doesn't sound good.
You can do the test online. You know, the talking hat. The sorting hat can sort you into your house at Hogwarts. You never done the test?
Sword.
No.
Sorted.
I'm a
sorted.
Sorting.
Oh.
I believe it's
we all said sword.
Sorting. No, sorting.
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm a Slytherin.
Crossing swords over
there. So what's the test?
You take a test. It's like a personality test online.
Right.
And it's like 20 questions, and then after you do it, they put you in a house. You can either be Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw. Well,
Slytherin.
You're a Potter's man. I didn't know if you did it.
No, I didn't. What was Harry?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. Right?
Gryffindor, yeah.
That's how he said it.
No, Slytherin.
Yeah.
Gryffindor. Slytherin.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. You live with a sorcerer.
I know. I've gone to one or two premieres with her, but so blazed up, I have no idea what was going on there. Just to get through it.
Listen, I don't blame you. I mean, I must be great being blazed up at a Potter.
I'm probably you doze off.
Harry Potter.
I have no idea who the characters are.
All right. What else you got?
We got some more James Earl Jones. This is a good little Star Wars nugget with him. This is what Darth Vader sounded like before James Earl Jones and after James Earl Jones.
Wild stuff.
And action!
Start tearing this ship apart piece by piece until you find those tapes. Find the passengers of this vessel. I want them alive!
Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive!
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away!
Dude,
wow.
Huge difference,
voice,
right?
Man.
What was it? What was that? That was the original guy? They had an original guy?
I don't know if he was always... I don't know if they always knew they were going to do a different voiceover guy, but yeah, that was the guy in the costume acting. And then they put James Earl Jones' voice over top of it.
Were they ever going to go? Yeah,
I can't imagine they're going to use that guy's
Oh, my
voice.
God.
No,
I got the Rebels.
It was terrible.
Yeah, see?
Like Tom Brady.
The Rebels are right. He did. He does sound like Brady.
Apparently, they needed a guy who could fill in the costume. They needed someone who was like over 6 foot tall. So they used this guy, and I think he was from Scotland. So he has this like thick Scottish accent. And he's obviously sounds horrible. And then you put James Earl Jones on there, and he sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's natural.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump around a little bit, Skeeves.
Oh,
I want to play some of the more fun stuff. Pearl Jam was in town. They do individual posters for every show.
Okay.
The poster for last night's show is outrageous.
Is it
Dr. J in the middle of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I need that in a t-shirt
outrageous.
now.
Wow, look
Dude,
at that.
Sick.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things they've ever done.
Dude, what the? I should have went last night.
Oh, they were there Saturday and Monday. 2 nights.
I missed it. What? Damn it.
Tickets were so expensive. I was monitoring tickets. If I could have got in the building for under $200, I would have done it, but not even close.
Did I see Twitter correctly? They honored the Gaudreau brothers, too?
The Saturday night, they did a mention and shout out to the Gaudreau brothers.
Yeah, man. That's
awesome, man.
There was a wrestler.
Civics today. I still can't believe
there was a wrestler last night on Monday Night Raw because it was in Calgary.
Yeah,
came out with a Gaudreau jersey.
Alex Singleton used to play the Birds. He won to the Broncos game. His Calgary Flames jersey with Gaudreau on the back.
How about this Cosm Bar in Dallas? Dude, this takes bar viewing of sports to a new level. It's an immersive dome-like thing. Dude, this was the Texas.
Now, do you have to pay a cover to get in these bars?
I would imagine.
I mean, dude, this is a great experience.
So like the whole front of the place looks like you're sitting in the stadium. They have deals to do their whole production for 360-degree cameras. They have agreements with NCAA, NBC, TNT. So you can go to any of these. They're going to try and do more and more events like this. But there's like this bar here. There might be two other places, but it feels like you're sitting at the event.
I saw something. I guess it was on Twitter. I guess it was in LA.
Okay.
And they had this.
Yeah.
It's wild.
We need that here.
That's so unbelievable.
We would pack that in.
That's actually better than being at the gate.
Exactly. In a bar, man.
And one more before we get to our caller. I got to play this. The NIU Sports Radio broadcast
bleep you.
of the Notre Dame game. This is great. You hear the young broadcasters.
He's lining it up. 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies!
That's the biggest win in NIU history.
Come on!
Let's go Huskies, baby. Oh!
That's bad.
That's horrible. It's blocked! It's blocked!
I think there's a lozenge.
Man, that's a bad loss.
Yeah,
that's a bad loss.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's got a couple bad losses.
That's a terrible
Is it
loss.
playoff hopes ending loss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think there will be a team that'll make the playoffs with 3 losses?
Yeah, no,
That's
there
who you
will be.
lose
But
to.
again, it's who you're right. You can't lose. You lose at
Better
home.
hope that
Come on.
someone loses
yeah.
even worse, man.
The Northern Illinois, that's a terrible loss. What does that tell you? That's bad.
That's not good at all.
All right, who do we got?
All right, we got Nick from Collegeville calling in about Let's go.
Nicky, what do you say, Nicky?
What's up, guys? How we doing, man?
Good to see you, buddy.
Good. I'm calling from my mobile office, i.e. my car.
That's fabulous.
I think I spend more time in the car than I do it at home. So
That's a nice surroundings, though. That's a nice
is that a
street.
mountain behind them?
So I found around 10:40. I found a nice isolated street with a lot of shade, a lot of trees, gorgeous late summer, early fall. I mean, late summer, early fall day. So,
that's
put the windows up so we don't hear dogs. Thanks, man. Listen, first of all,
what part of the area? What area are you in?
So I'm Nick from Collegeville, but that handles from the radio days, which was 10 years ago. I've been Brookhaven / Aston Media area for the last 7 years.
Very nice.
Yeah, the Nick from Collegeville.
I'm like,
I wouldn't spoil his moniker. His real
go ahead. You can. Listen. So my official name's Domenico or Dominic. Because my parents are from Italy. My dad passed away. My mom's still here with us, thank God. But when I first got into this, I started calling my boy Cuz because I love the show and your content. I didn't want my bosses to figure out that I was, spending quality time making calls to radio show versus my clients. So I'm Nick from Collegeville. And then I walk into a liquor store, high-end liquor store in like northern Delaware, and the owner Dave's like, Dominic, do you call? This is back in the day when you're WIP. Do you call WI? I go, yes, I do. He goes, I heard your voice, and I'm like, that's Dominic. So,
oh my God, that's fabulous.
Cat's out of the bag. Yeah,
that's great that you got outed. That's awesome.
I got outed. Yeah. And funny part. So I was with that guy a few weeks ago, and he said his son Griffin, who plays for a Wilmington team, got shelled for a home run by some guy called Massimo Gargano about a year ago, earlier this year, like early spring. He said,
"Yeah, oh my
yeah."
God,
He said he's like he saw you and he thought of me, and his son gave up. He crushed home run. So, speaking of home runs or not home runs, like Bryce, you saw right away off the bat it wasn't getting out. Now, if it was July 10th during a heat wave, that ball would have just kept rising and would have pelted some dude in the chest in the 10th row. but that ball was never getting out. It was on a wire, but it started sinking right away when it left the infield. You got to move a little bit, dude. Like, I know you haven't hit a home run since St. Patrick's Day and all that, but you got to move a little bit.
Yeah, but what's funny, Nikki? To me, Bryce deserves the sacred cow treatment. Like if you're going to be punitive, think about it. Being punitive as a manager, there needs to be reasons why you're punitive, right? Like, this player is a great player or a good player, but needs to be a fire lit under his butt, right? Like, little things like that. Does Bryce need that? He doesn't need a fire lit under him. He
does. Listen,
great.
Yes. I don't disagree with anything you said. The problem is we got on J-Roll for doing this, once or twice in a season? He's doing this weekly. This dude is doing it weekly. That's the problem now.
Listen, I think there's different rules. It didn't bother me when Jimmy did it. It doesn't bother me. Like, and again, I know where Bryce is coming from, so I could see it. Like, it is a big deal when a guy like him has this kind of drought. Like, I just have a tough time being punitive. And I know people go, you got to hold them to the same standards. I disagree with the Embiid stuff. Like, Embiid gets roasted in town. And I think, you know what, for being a great player, I think you deserve latitude.
I agree. Listen, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. What I'm saying is, with two children, or they're all teenagers now, if you see the same behavior at some point, that anomaly is become the norm. So we're getting to the postseason now. Hopefully, in the postseason, it's different. All the cameras going to be on him. All the big reporters going to be there, and hopefully he'll remember that. But the problem is when you get in these behaviors, your mind takes over. Like freaking Jalen over the weekend, his mind took. He just went to his natural move and is throwing the ball across his body and over the middle late. Like, these habits become. These anomalies become norms. So, big Eagles.
Listen, I feel you.
Yeah.
All right, what did you learn from week one?
I learned that I think this offensive line is really good, and we have a really good running game, and it's only going to get better after the next couple of weeks when the preseason first 3 games of this quote unquote the first 3 games of the season becomes real regular season. The defensive line, I'm not sure yet. The secondary is really good. Look, CJ, or whatever his initials are, bad angle, bad field. I want to see what they look like Monday night on their home turf. I'm going to see what the pass rush looks like Monday night on their home turf. Jalen, he made some spectacular plays. He made some rookie high school plays. Yeah. I hate to say rookie. Like, that game, you look at the final score and a lot of the plays, and you think of the game, Eagles were always in command. That game was in peril. He throws that quick out to trying to hit Dotson, and that game could be over.
Yeah.
So,
no, defense saved them early too.
Yeah. And also, I think we have 2 coordinators, which is important. We have 2 coordinators that have assimilated and adapted right away. We don't have to wait 5 games for the players to figure out what scheme they're running and how to run their scheme. So, all positives. I'm not going to jump down their throat. Look, we knew they did one team practice situation. The last 2-3 years, they've been doing 2 or 3. They did 1 because they didn't want to expose their hand. Dude, come on, Nicky. Your boy Nicky. Come on, man. This ain't chess. This is still checkers. It's about lining up and making plays. Like, you're not going to give away the house by running a few extra plays or an extra practice.
Yep.
So,
you're speaking VG's language.
Nikki, listen, me and VG are on that train. Look, how much Italian fortitude?
I think you
Go
guys
ahead.
are right.
Look, how much Italian fortitude? How much Italian fortitude did Nick need when Jalen's trying to run out the clock under 2 minutes, and he's got to call timeout because the play clock's going to 0? Like, he probably want to throw his headset and grab Jalen by the shoulder pads and go, "What are you doing, dude? We're running out the clock. I got to call timeout on you."
I hear you, brother. Listen, great call, great setting. I love it, man. This is great.
Love you, boys.
Call's going now.
Love you, boys. I'll see you next week.
Love you,
Nick.
Love you,
Nick.
Nicky.
Appreciate
Thanks, buddy. That was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, his connection was nice.
Yeah,
Sounded
looked
good.
clear.
Mike. Yeah.
You look great.
Yeah.
I want to get the calls going.
Absolutely.
All right, so everybody, we want to start doing that. So we'll tweet out maybe we could tweet out whatever the protocol.
We'll get that going.
You want a little Matt Rule nug there? He had some great stuff to talk about yesterday. His little presser.
It's my man.
So in his presser yesterday, he goes, "If it was up to me, we'd play at 9 o'clock in the morning. Kegs and eggs and football. Let's go."
Oh, just what you love, mornings and breakfast. Yeah. Man, hey.
He likes the kegs part, though, and football.
I like the kegs part. Yeah.
Can I talk about times of games? This irritated me yesterday. Monday night football games should be on the East Coast until it's dark on the West Coast at kickoff time. Monday night games where it's still sunny out, I don't dig it. It ruins the whole vibe for me. It bothered me last night that the sun was shining, it was all bright. I'm all hunkered in for Monday night football.
Oh, because
I want darkness.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
I don't want Monday night football late afternoon.
Darkness is Fiji's friend.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Does the lights look better?
Yeah.
Well, you see it on
Better
Sunday
production.
night, too.
Yeah.
When they're West Coast.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. I don't love it.
It is weird.
Well, that would change soon. I mean,
Yeah.
daylight savings
So
time
for the
and all
first
that.
4 weeks, all the Monday night football games should be at East Coast or Central.
I actually like that. That's good in the road season.
Get some shades. Get some good blackout shades. You know,
It's not my house.
I appreciate
it's the screen.
It's
the
back-
sun on the TV.
I appreciate that.
Oh, check this out too. Kind of a violation in my own house. Walking down the street, the Pagan's getting into it. She got a nice new Eagles hat, and we're walking down the street with the dogs yesterday, and the guy says, "Go Birds," and she thinks he's saying nice. She's like, "Thank you." I was like, "Thank you? What? You say go Birds?" She's like, "Oh, I thought he was complimenting my hat." I was like, "No."
My wife kills me for that.
Yeah.
My wife kills me because if I see someone wearing Eagles here, I say, "Yo, go Birds."
Yeah,
Sometimes I'll answer, but I don't
that's what
care.
you do.
Why, she gets mad at that?
She's like, "Obviously, they're an Eagles fan. You're in Philadelphia." I'm like, "Yeah, babe, but it's still it's our brother."
Exactly. It's reading.
Yeah, that's
And we speak to each other like that.
I thought, that's an Eagles fan. Of course, I'm
Kate
gonna
goes
say
You
go Birds.
always say go Birds.
I see
You
Birds.
say go Birds to anybody.
Right.
You know what's funny? You always know Fugazi when they look at you funny.
Yeah.
Or they say thank you.
Oh yeah,
I was
true.
like, did you just say thank you?
Yeah, that's a violation. You're
Yeah.
right. Or the Pagan violation.
Yeah, it is.
It happened to me the other day though. I saw a guy. I was one of the kids' games, and I went go Birds, and he looked at me like,
"Dude, you say go Birds back."
I was
you're
like,
not.
wow, violation.
Yeah. Hey, shout out. Apparently, we have a celebrity in the chat, Steve Martin. He's got to be the comedian because he says the Eagles are going 8-9.
8-9.
Come on.
Don't say
Come
that.
on, Steve.
Get back to
Cowboy
murders
fan.
in the podcast building or whatever you're doing, Steve.
It's one of my favorites.
You like that show?
No, I love Steve Martin in general.
Oh yeah.
Love all his work.
Yeah.
My
All
favorites.
right. Look
The
at you.
Jerk, right?
Oh, dude.
Movies? The
Watched
Jerk.
that when I was like 7. I
Really?
loved it. It was one of my Blockbuster rentals.
Get out.
Yeah.
It's cheaper by the dozen.
We got one more.
Yeah. The last one, the talk tour. Can you throw that up real quick? Yeah. There's a new podcast coming out. It's super hot. Instead of talk to her, talk to her.
Y'all really thought I was done? I'm just getting started, baby. I'm Haley Welch. A little while ago, my life took a complete left turn and it changed forever. And along the way, I've realized that everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Well, now it's my time to talk. Check out my podcast every week, Talk to Them, where I'm sitting down with the coolest guests and having actual conversations with them.
Actual
The
conversation.
title's good instead of hot to it, talk to it. I do like the title.
The title's brilliant.
Yeah.
Good for her.
The title's brilliant.
She needs to go away.
You know what they say?
It's over. The trend is done. The hot Tua thing.
You know
done.
what they say, Skeeves?
Bye-bye.
Anyone can have a podcast these days.
Listen, God bless.
Nice
Yeah.
production.
You know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She's got that dough now.
All right. Well, everybody, that's going to do it for us. Great stuff. We love you guys. All right. Have a great day. We got Phillies tonight. You know, it's weird. No football, right? Like, isn't it weird? Like
No, I'm watching the fight.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And now we got no football. Well, you're right. We got Fightins. So go Fightins. Have a great day. We love you guys. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.